Hey, Coach Huseman, given last year's result with Hampton, I wonder how much that perhaps gets the attention of the Spiders as you head down there.
Well, I hope it does. I obviously I told them. I mean, they knew what happened last year. They knew we got our butts beat pretty good right there, and didn't play any of the three phases of the game. Didn't play very well. Obviously, Hampton played extremely well in that one. So, yeah, they understand. They're pretty smart kids, but we did mention to them that, I don't believe in revenge games or anything. It's the next game. It's Hampton, but I think they understand that it's a good football team, no question about that.
Been in a few physical scraps in CAA play and come out on top on each. I wonder if you get the feel, Spiders get the feel, it's a sort of a team of destiny. We're doing the right thing. Somehow we're winning.
Well, we just taking them one day at a time, and I know that sounds like a cliche, and I hate to say that sometimes, but we talk to our team, and November's huge. I mean, we talk about playing meaningful games in November, and we've got the opportunity to play meaningful games in November.
DeGennaro, possible? Not.
No, he won't play.
And how's Gavea coming along?
Good. He's going to play more. He could have played last week. He's a little gimpy, not quite ready, but we had him for emergency. He'll play this week.
Hampton as athletic as they usually are, and are they like anybody else that you've already seen this year?
Well, I mean, they're similar to a lot of teams, but I mean, Campbell, they got an athletic quarterback that can throw it. They're big up front, and they got wideouts that can run and go get it. And they actually have a big back. Campbell had a big back that we struggled with last week. So I'd say offensively, pretty similar to what Campbell looks like. Defensively, they're a little different. I mean, they are active on defense, man. They fly to the ball, they blitz, they do a lot of different things on defense. It's really, we're going to have to be extremely prepared against them. Sometimes you get teams out there that just do a million different things, but they do a lot and they do it well, and their kids are well coached, and then they can play. They got good players.
You can preach one game at a time, and every week is of itself a season, but how good is this year's roster at compartmentalizing things like that and not looking, 8 in a row, and we've got this and we've got that? How good are they at focusing on week to week?
I don't know what goes on in the locker room, to be honest with you, and what they talk about in their dorm rooms. But I do know that we don't talk as a coaching staff and in meetings with these guys. We don't talk to them about any of this. It's just, all right, the task that's at hand right now, and that's Hampton, and that's all we can control.
Late in the season, you want to be playing your best football around this time of year. Do you feel like your team's been playing their best football?
Sometimes I feel that way. Other times I don't. We've been pretty consistent all year, and I think that's the sign of a good team. I mean, we don't have a lot of ups and downs. We're pretty consistent. We don't make too much out of a win. They know they got to come back and win the next one. So pretty consistent team, I would say, for the most part.
Okay, Coach gave us a corporate line about how this isn't a revenge game.
It is.
Is it for you guys?
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's a revenge game. Last year this was a game that I got hurt my ankle. I was out for like 3 games, came back, Campbell. So I feel like it's really like a personal game for us too. They beat us last year, so we're just trying to capitalize on that. Take it one game at a time. You want to go 1-0 each week, but it's a little personal this week.
What lessons do you take from that game last year?
I feel like, I just feel like we didn't play as a team in the beginning of the game. Down the stretch, I feel like we kind of have some plays that we played together, but just putting it all together this year, at the beginning, the middle, the end. So,
what kind of faith does it build amongst both the entire roster when you guys have a game? I'll just take last week as an example. Fall behind, come back, play all 60 minutes. How much faith does that instill in each other that this entire group can get it done each week?
I just feel like it just shows that we're battle tested. Like last year we had Stony Brook. We won by 1 point. That was a very close game. We came stuck together with each other. So, to me, me personally, I was never worried that game. Like I was like, we were battle tested, so I have faith in us. So.
The mark of a good team is finding a way to win, correct?
Yes, sir.
How do you guys find a way to win?
Watching the film, just having one to know mindset each week, and just trusting each other, trusting in ourselves, and then for me personally, just trusting in God that He's gonna put me in the right positions each play.
What goes through your head when you've got that lined up and do you think of anything, or is it just going through the motions, make sure I do everything that I need to do what I know I can do?
Yeah, I don't really think of outcomes when I'm in that position. I think more about just sticking to my routine, hitting a good solid ball, having a good strike on the ball, putting it through. I'm thinking more about what I can do to put it through. Once I start thinking about results, I'll get ahead of myself and I'll start thinking about, oh, what if this happens, or what if this happens? So I think it's more I just got to stick to my routine. It's no different than any other kick. I had one earlier in the game that I was in a similar position to tie the game. So I just stick to my routine. I don't try and do too much, think about outcomes.
How are you able to just put aside a miss and then come right back? And I mean, do you just if you miss one, do you just want to get right back out 5 minutes later?
Yeah, I think it's like as soon as I miss one, it's like, oh, let's do that again. I want to make that, but I think that nothing I can do is going to change the outcome of what I just did. So I think it's more like, all right, well, you know what? I might have missed that one, but you know what? I can redeem myself on the next one. And there's going to be more important kicks. I had a miss in the first quarter, so I was saying to myself, we're like, this is going to be a close game. We're going to need an important kick at some point. So definitely don't want to, let that, affect you for the rest of the game.
What about after it goes through? What went through your head then, and what was kind of?
Well, at that point I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go crazy right now. Yeah, it's just it was a pretty stressful game the whole time. I knew it was close. I knew I was thinking to myself the whole time. I was like, this comes down to a field goal. I got to keep myself level-headed and all that. So as soon as it went through, I honestly don't even know what I was thinking. I think there's a video of me just jumping around. So.
But the two of you've traded back and forth this year. You've both gotten in. He made 5 the week before. You come in and make a game winner. How do you support each other? Especially because, I made the point that he's come a long way for school. How do you two support each other when you're not really sure? One could get the call, the other one could get the call. You both have to be ready.
Yeah, I think that we both, there's never really been any rivalry feeling between the two of us at any point this year. Me and Sean are really close, really good friends, and I think that we both have the mutual feeling that we're both good kickers. We both could do this job, and I know that Sean is saying to himself, he's like, I have 4 more years to do this, and he's a really good kicker, and 4 years down the road, I think he can be someone who's good enough to kick on Sundays. I think he's that good. So yeah, I just think that right now it's more of just like I'm gonna try and teach Sean as much as I can for my last year.
Making a game-winning kick, is that the ultimate experience for a kicker? How much did you think about that? Have you had game-winning kicks before?
I've had 2. My most recent was against Lehigh last year when I was at Fordham, and I still think about that to this day because it was just such a good feeling and it was such an important kick for our team last year. So I think I'll be thinking about this one for a while, honestly. Especially for my last year.
When you make one, does that help you with the next one because you've done it before?
I will say for sure, because even before I was going out to kick that last one, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I've done this before, I can do this, I know I can, and when I went out for Lehigh last year to kick that game winner, I was saying to myself, I'll keep my head level, I just gotta hit a good ball, I know I'm good enough to make this kick, so I had the same process for this kick, just hit a good ball, I know I'm good enough, the wind died down, so just hit a good straight ball, it'll go through.